Good evening, everyone, and here we are at the Malagasy Laundry, Liquid and Fabric Conditioner and Military Vehicle Collective, factory number 124. And here we have the Type 10 R at the minute, TUSK 2 Pro Plus. Now, this is, of course, a Mitsubishi product, and Mitsubishi have written a strongly worded email saying that they are the makers of the great Lancer, the Pajero, and they are unhappy with the comparison to the Type R, because obviously the Type R is a Honda product. So I've got a poll at the minute whether this one should be called the Evolution. Let me know what you think. And this is a nice Lancer Evolution in 1/72, and it's a lovely model because it even has the roll cage in the back, and if you flip it up, it has sort of a recreation of the underpinnings. And I just love Evos, I love Type Rs, I love Skylines, love Subaru STI WRXs as well. But anyway, back to tanks. So the Mitsubishi Type 10 Hitomaru, to give it its proper name, I may have butchered that, but that is the Dudley translation, is a wonderful tank. Now, this is a strong contender for the Malagasy Great Tank Off. Now, the tank itself has a base weight of around 44,000 kilograms. And in combat weight with full armour, it's around 48,000 kilograms. So it's significantly less than the Western main battle tanks. And importantly, it's significantly less than Type 90. And Japan has lots of bridging restrictions, road restrictions. And the Type 90 can only go in, I think it's about 45% of Japan. This can go in 65% of Japan. So that's why the Japanese have gone for this lighter tank. Now, the armour scheme is meant to be better than the Type 90, which for a tank which weighs significantly less is really good. So it's meant to be a mix of composite armour, which from what I'm reading is the best armour that you can get. Although some people on various gaming websites, and this is where I do like War Thunder and World of Tanks, because they are one of the few places that you can find stuff, even though it's not always correct. And thank you to the subscribers who've corrected a few misunderstandings I had about the heat warheads, the chemical reaction of the explosive, the Monroe effect. The liner is what does the damage. It's as far as I can tell, an eroding blast wave with the liner, which erodes through the armour. So it's not a molten jet, it's like a plasticine sort of metal thing, and the shape of the shape charge and the construction of the liner is what does the damage. And to give better effects, they put the warhead at the back of the anti-tank guided missile, and they often use plastic involved in it. So a lot going on there. But anyway, thank you to First Dagger for pointing that out. So I'll try not to say molten jet again. So the evolution of this tank is from the lighter tanks, which are configured in combat mode, 48,000 kilograms. This one has a mine roller, and then you go up to the next level of protection, which is what I called the Type 10R before, but this is got the explosive reactive armor on the top and on the sides. And then you go full on to the Evolution, which would be around 52 to 53 tons, I reckon. So 52,000 to 53,000 kilograms, I reckon. I've not put it on the scales because obviously I haven't got any 1/72 scales. But the evolution of this is the TUSK 2 armor system, which is double era, which is absolutely fantastic, and that's designed to defeat your anti-tank guided missile threats. It's got the TUSK plates on the turret there with that would be a sort of a composite armor behind there. The double layer reactive armor is on the side, which is the main weak point of the tank, and that's the M19 Arat tiles on the back, and the M32 Arak tiles on the front. So the M32 Arak tiles are the curved ones, which apparently is ceramic with the explosive inside, and really good setup, actually. Really very good. It's got an RWS, of course it has. It's got a belly plate, of course it has, and then on the front it's got this blocky thing here. Now I'm undecided if this is going to be ERA, or whether it's just going to be spaced composite plates, a bit like the Challenger. So I'm undecided, but it's a state secret anyway, so I don't have to decide. It's got the active protection system covering the front, and this time it's got really beefed up top protection, which is ERA, 2-layer ERA on the top. So you've got the big blocks there, the smaller blocks, and they are angled to defeat the warhead. Now I'm a little bit undecided as to how things like the Javelin work, because obviously the Javelin has to detect or work out when to go off, basically, above the tank. Now how it does that is probably secretive, but from what I'm reading is the Javelin will pick out the center of mass, and then the charge will go downwards to go through the top attack armor. So I'm a little bit undecided as to how this works, because if the Javelin is coming in at a lower level, maybe a meter or so, well, it will collide straight into this, which will stop the formation of the blast wave and disrupt the liner from forming. But if the Javelin then goes, oh, that's the top of the tank, and then goes higher, then obviously it's reliant on the explosive reactive armor to break up that blast wave, disrupt the liner and the material. So I'm a bit undecided, and I don't want to get too technical on that, because obviously there's something that tells the N-law and the Javelin how high to go above the tank, because otherwise, if there wasn't, then they would basically just go at a stupid height, or they would go and miss. So there must be something telling them what to do. Now, something I have read is that it's possibly related to the infrared thermal signature of the armoured vehicle. That's a possibility, that makes sense. And screening of the external and infrared signature is meant to have a disruptive effect. Here on the rear we've got jamming equipment as well, for jamming IEDs, for jamming FPV drones. We've got the 2 large active protection systems on the rear, and those spin and swivel. The radar here at the rear, radars at the front, a bit like the Merkava, taking the armour scheme to the next level. Now I really like this. I think the Type 10 is a real contender. It's even in this weight, 52 tons, so you'd import it into the combat zone, you'd put on the extra TUSK kit, and then you are good to go. Now, what threat is this going to face in Africa? And that's where the words of the bad lieutenant are really ringing in my ears. You know, maybe the Merkava is a great tank, but do the Malagasi's need the Merkava? Actually, if you think of Madagascar and you think of the attributes of the Type 10 being lighter, it's more mobile, it's more strategically mobile, it can get around Madagascar better. Now, I've got a little collection forming of these because I absolutely love this tank. It is, of course, from the rules-based world, coming from Japan, so it's not going to get sanctioned. It's a nice combination of different kits, because I've super armoured the Abrams. It's about 20 tons lighter than the Abrams M1A2 SEP V2 TUSK 2, which is really good. It's a lot lighter than the Merkava. Battle load, however, is 14 rounds in that auto loader, so that's not a huge amount of ammunition. However, the Chieftain has done an excellent video called Wither, the auto loader, and I'd advise anyone to watch that, because whilst the Abrams has got a 36 round capability in the Bustle, what it seems is that actually only certain rounds are ready to go, and the loader then has to reconfigure them. And one of the benefits of the autoloader is you have access to all the ammunition types straight away, whereas on the Abrams it depends on how you have stowed it. So if you load up your loader's side ready rack with heat ammunition, and your sabos on the other side, then it's difficult to get. Now apparently there is a dual purpose round which will alleviate some of that, but the auto loader does have a benefit in that way. So watch the video about the Chieftain with the auto loader. What else to say about this? Well, I just love Japanese metal. I'm a keen driver of my sleek. I also like Fiesta STs and STs and GTIs and VRSs. And okay, I'll shut up, I'm rambling. Let me know what you think. This tank is open for a poll. Should this one be called the Evolution? Do you know what? I like this so much, I'm going to build another one. Take care. Goodbye.